Today is March 13th, 2018, 322 days without Morgan. I haven't posted any videos over the last week just because I've been so exhausted. Didn't realize until today why. About 2 weeks ago, I removed a negative entity from an 8-month-old boy, and due to time restrictions, I allowed that entity to come into my throat, and then due to my schedule, completely forgot that I allowed this entity to attach to me. So for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, I've been tired, progressively getting worse and worse as the time went on. And I didn't realize until today why that was the case. So not only was I tired, but I had lacked motivation. I was getting sick. Things were happening in my home, which are all indicators of a negative entity nearby. But because it had a tether line and it wasn't actually in my home, I just kept missing it. I just didn't feel it. I didn't sense it. I didn't any of that. When I went to remove it, I realized that it wasn't just a single entity, but it was multiple entities acting as one. So it had many tether lines and was still connected to the 8-month-old, just not completely connected. So I had to deal with all that. But once I've done that, I actually feel better. You know, I have more energy. I'm feeling lighter. I don't feel bogged down again. And with what I do and stuff like that, I can't afford to be that way. So that's why there hasn't been a video in a while. I just couldn't bring myself to blog because when I wasn't working, I was either sick or dealing with a problem in my home. So yesterday was a water issue. And then last week it was my eye. And a tree in my yard from the storm that I'm still dealing with that went across 2 pieces of my fence and onto my pool. So now the storm is a storm, but all the years I've lived here, that limb has never moved, let alone come down. And it's not a little limb. It's at least 15, 20 feet long. So it's a pretty significant limb. But anyway, so I'm glad to know that's gone. So that way I can start being better myself. I haven't seen Morgan or talked to Morgan in all this time still. I know partly it's because this thing probably was keeping him out because it was pretty strong. Because I feel like he wants to come back to me at this point, and he's done trying to help my brother and sister-in-law get their dog back. I think the dog is just at this point, wherever it is, that's where it's at now. And I feel like it's found a new home. And I feel like whatever's supposed to happen of somebody passing is either past and it's not happening now, or it's still happening, but at this point it's not going to be as a major effect. But time will tell, and I will be grateful to see my son again. I do miss him when he's not around. I was cleaning out a cabinet last week, and I came across a mug that he had markered up. You know, it was purposely for that, you know, design your own mug kind of thing. And you know, on it he had put "I love mom," you know, so it was a nice find to find in the cabinet. So I've been finding little things like that. Hopefully I'll come across the Pokemon blanket, even though I feel like that's at somebody else's house, but maybe somebody out there knows where it's at, because it would be nice to have that back too. But I'm doing okay. School's going along great, and he's my motivation to go back to school so I can help his friends and other people to hopefully not lose their child and not go through what I went through. So life is moving forward. I should be able to start back on regular videos again. And honestly, if you guys don't see one for a few days, you know, nudge me. Make sure, you know, that it calls to my attention, as just in case something negative has attached to me again. Because the more that I help others and the more I fight the negative, the more they come at me. So, and even though for the most part my house is protected, I am vulnerable. There are moments and triggers of issues that upset me with the loss of Morgan, and they use that as an opportunity to get at me, as they do everybody else. Vulnerability is key. So enjoy Talk to you tomorrow.